Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Home Staging Talk Show Live. I'm Jenny Norris, your host, and this show is brought to you by the International Association of Home Staging Professionals. And we are excited to be here with you today. I'm using a new platform because this one allows me to have up to 10 guests at a time, and we have an exciting show for you. And we're supposed to have our keynote speaker, Deshauna Barber, joining us. And so I'm just waiting for her to come in. But we also have some of the ladies from the SIDC, the Staging Industry Diversity Coalition, who will be giving us an update, hearing some of the good things that are happening just in general with their businesses as well. So I'm excited for that. First, I do want to give some announcements like I always do. So I have, this platform doesn't allow me to do pictures, but I can do video. So hopefully this will work. I'm going to play these in the stream. First, we're going to talk about the best of home staging. So I'm going to play this segment and I'll share where we are with that. Okay, so Best of Home Staging right now, nominations continue until July 17th. So we have been sending out the notifications to those people who have been nominated. And if you haven't, I'm going to take this out of here because I feel like it's not working that great. Sorry, I'm at my warehouse and there might be background noise. I'm just going to preface it that way. We are loading for stagings, and I usually do this at home. I usually don't come in, but we have construction at home, so I didn't have a place to sit. So I'm here. But anyway, the Best of Home Staging goes until the 17th. So you have time to nominate other people, your colleagues, have people nominate you. And so the recognition, hopefully you've been seeing some of that going out. So again, until July 17th, that's the Best of Home Staging, recognizing those who are deserving of recognition for their excellence in staging, how they serve their clients, so client service excellence, and then also leadership, industry leadership. And industry leadership, some people have been submitting like, she leads her team or he leads his team or whatever. So industry leadership is what you do in the for the industry, not for your own business. And so those people will be recognized if you're serving in a capacity as a coach, a mentor, a educator, in leadership in a chapter or with an association or what have you. Those are the people that will receive that recognition. So that's exciting. All right, so this is when we're going to play. This is a promo for the conference, and it's we all know about this. Okay, so that one, we did that, but I probably created that in like December. I don't have a current promo, but we have other keynotes as well. But I did want to show that because tickets are on sale and we're looking forward to having a live event that's going to be very exciting. So it definitely will be held live. Whoever comes, we're so excited to have you joining us. It's going to be a really, really great time. We went to the hotel, I think it was a couple weeks ago, maybe, just to kind of revisit the space and meet our event planner and getting all the logistics together. So the hotel, is fully operational and taking all the precautions as needed if our state requires that. So right now they're allowed to have as many as 1,000 people in a room. We're not going to cram people in a bunch of round tables where you'll be smashed in there. So if a concern for you as far as social distancing is there, the room is massive. It's a big room. And so we'll have plenty of space for everybody and can accommodate all of that. So get your tickets, register. Some of you guys are sitting on the fence. I know you plan on coming, but I got to know because we have to plan numbers and food. Those of you that have ever done an event like this caliber, just the food and beverage alone is in the tens of thousands of dollars that we provide for the dinner. And then we do, we've done lunch in the past. We might do breakfast this time or continental, but that's a big ticket piece of the of an event, because the hotels, of course, they want the revenue and they provide all the meals and so forth. But we got to know, because I have to give them numbers. So if you're planning on coming, don't wait to get to register. And I'm just really excited to see everybody in person. It's going to be awesome. So with that in mind, here is another video I want to play. So we're really excited to have Deshauna as our inspirational keynote. I think I put down motivational this morning because my brain is sort of fried. Inspirational keynote. And so again, she's supposed to be on the show today. So for any reason, something didn't get relayed to her, and I've actually reached out to her on social media as well. We will reschedule, but I think she was planning on coming in about 1:15. That was what we had scheduled. So excited for that. And then this last one, this is actually all of our keynote speakers. We have 4 keynotes. We bring you 4 for the price of 1. No other event does that. Here we go. Okay, so those are our 4 keynotes. Plus, we have a lot of other really amazing speakers that will be sharing with us during our breakout sessions, the general sessions. So the whole agenda is on the IAHSP Con Expo site. So you can actually check that out to see the lineup and so forth. And then, of course, we have our, the speakers are on the site as well. You can see their bios for those that have turned them into me. And everybody's really excited to share their topics. We have everything for beginners, intermediate, and advanced. Things from business organization, logistics, mindset, working with realtors, a lot of marketing, because our designation we're issuing at this conference is the Sales and Marketing Specialist. And so that's the IAHSP SMS. And the reason we selected that is because so many people in our industry were creative, but they may not understand how to market. And my saying is, those who market make it, because you have to market in order to get sales. And so we wanted to put an emphasis on that. But beyond our own businesses, how can we help add value to the clients that we serve in this capacity? Because realtors are always looking for ways to get to additional audience. There's ways that we can add value with helping to give them exposure with marketing. Any of our clients, whether it's a building, maybe it's a new build, high rise or something, and you can help give exposure for that building. So there's a lot of ways that we can turn it around and not just be focused just on ourselves, but how do we actually turn it around and use it as a value add to the clients we want to work with. So that will be woven throughout the 2 days of education. So it's not like in the past where we had one, like a 3-hour session, that was the designation. There'll be various speakers that when you attend the conference and you see these speakers, then you will qualify to receive the designation. So I'll be teaching on personalities, if you will. So it's a discovery session, DISC, discovery. Yes, Joseph Hecker is going to be here. He'll be talking about leveraging networks to grow your business. I believe he's speaking on, I think you're speaking on Sunday. So I'm excited to have him. He's a just I talked about you last night. I was at home. I was bragging on you last night, Joseph. I hope your ears were burning. All the things that he does, he's amazing. So I love having you on the show. So we'll have to have you come on again. So he's speaking on leveraging networks. Johnny Fowler's session will qualify Joanne Leonard Weary. She's doing boss marketing, my discovery session. And then there'll be a couple others that will be part of the designation. And one of them is the realtor panel that will be on Sunday. And so we'll be hearing from realtors about what it means to add value as a stager, how you can kind of get out of the box and think about things differently. My son and my husband, real estate team, they'll be on the panel along with John Reagan, and we're looking maybe for a fourth person. But the goal is to be able to kind of turn it on its head a little bit, the marketing side, and not be so self-focused, but think about how we can help other people gain business. Because as Zig Ziglar always said, I believe this is his quote, you help enough other people be successful, then that will lead to your success. And I'm paraphrasing, of course. But anyway, that is the goal. So I'm going to go ahead and bring on my ladies. So those of you that are watching, thanks for tuning in. If you want to comment, let us know you're here. I can't see who's watching, but I know that we are being viewed right now, which is cool. And of course, this will be recorded and then sent out and shared to everybody if you're not able to join us live. So let's see here. Tamara, I'm going to bring you in. I don't know what it does on your end. Oh, it just brings you right in here. Awesome. Okay. And then I have Bridget.
Hi.
And Sharon. And Deborah. Hey. Hey, ladies. How are you?
Hi. Good. Thank you for having us.
Hey, yeah. It's great to see everybody. And I'm hoping to see everybody in Denver in September. And Deborah, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? I think you're muted. Let's see. I can't hear you. So Sharon, say hello and make sure I got to be.
Hello, everyone.
Gotcha. And Bridget.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, and then Tamara.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, and then Deborah, say something. Oh, I think we can hear you. You're. Can you say something? Oh no, we can't hear you. But I thought I heard rustling of papers. So you must be muted on. Let's see. There's a microphone icon, and on your end, so you should be able to turn your mic on. So you might want to try going out and coming back in. That might fix it. So how are you ladies doing? So Bridget, we had the privilege of having her. It was like the Bridget week.
Yeah.
we had you on the membership call, which was awesome, and then she was on the show. So it's great to have you. And Sharon, for those people that are watching, so kind of introduce yourself. So we'll start with you, Sharon. Let us know who you are, where you're from.
I am Sharon Walker, and I recently relocated. So now I'm living in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I began as a stager in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
So that's where most of my experience was, and working as a stager was in Dallas, but glad to be here in the coastal community, loving the beach. So it's been really great.
So my in-laws traveled to Myrtle Beach. This was, my kids were little. And so my mother-in-law found hermit crabs.
Oh yeah.
On the beach. And so she brought them on the airplane. She brought them home and then proceeded to give them to each one to our 4 kids. And they had the little plastic cages. And I was thinking, and they were young. These kids were like 2 years old to maybe 7. And so I'm thinking like, I just knew, I don't know how they're going to care for them. So sure enough, I mean, they lasted for like a week, and then I started that smell, like I could tell they had died.
Right.
I felt bad. They all named him Hermie. But those things are so cute. I've never been, so I'd love to come to Myrtle Beach.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Love to have you.
So, all right, Tamara, let us know who you are, where you're from.
Hi. My name is Tamara Grant. I'm the owner of Destin Dreams Home Staging, and I am in Canada, in Toronto, Ontario, and I've been in the business since 2016.
Yes, and Toronto, beautiful city. So I haven't been there in a while. I taught there a few times, and the first time I taught there actually was by the University of Toronto, and whoever had booked the class, this was back when we had people that would schedule us. It was like, staff members, and so for whatever reason, they booked me to teach in a bar, and so I had the pub to myself until 5 p.m. Then everybody would come strolling in. And it was right by the university. So it was like fraternity row. Mm-hmm. So, and it was crazy. At that time we could travel with an assistant. And so the gal that I was traveling with, they put her in a room. I guess it was like, guys out in the hallway passed out and so forth.
Oh, God.
It was an experience. But yeah, Toronto's really beautiful. And you also have a course for helping stagers. Let's talk about that really briefly.
Yes, I do. It's a Destin Dreams home staging blueprint, and it's basically based off of my own experience. So it's an online digital kit and online training program. It doesn't teach you how to stage, but it does teach you the fundamentals of business when it comes to having a home staging company. And like I said, it's just based off of our own experience. The Destin Dreams home staging blueprint can be found on our website, on our online store.
So it's kind of like it bridges the gap from people who take a course, you get your foundation. It's like drinking out of a fire hose because there's so much information that gets thrown at us.
Right.
And I remember my class, and I don't know if those of you who have taken the ASP course, this one I took. So let me bring Deborah in. Sorry, Deborah. No, sorry. Are you? We can't hear you. Dang it. No, you have no sound. So let's see here. I don't want to mute you on my end, but there's got to be a microphone setting on yours. Can you come in on your phone maybe? Try that. Okay. So my course was only 2 days back when I took it in 2002. And so we learned all of the business setup in 4 hours from 6 to 10 p.m. I just remember being so tired because that would have been the day after I don't know if we'd gone to stage yet or not, but I don't remember really remembering anything except being thankful that I had this manual I could take back and go through. And so then it eventually got expanded to 3 days, but it's still not enough time. And we've had through the years, people go, this should be a longer course. It should be 4 or 5 days. And that's a lot to ask a trainer to be gone from their family and out on the road and so forth. And even with that, we're always learning. And so what you've developed sort of bridges the gap between somebody who's gotten started and then is sort of like, now what do I do? And wanting to have a path for success and then getting into an advanced level. And we have our master's course. And so I feel like your the course that you've developed is sort of the link between here and here.
That's exactly what it is. It bridges the gap, and it's something that I wish I had when I started, because I just got thrown to the wolves and figured it out on my own. And so I just came up with this during COVID, actually.
Oh, a lot of people create a lot of really great things. That's good. Making your time positively productive.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. And so people, if they want to learn more about it, you can reach out to Tamara. It's one of those things you and I talked about, making like have it on available through IAHSP for our members, and being able to offer that. So that's something that I've just been delayed, but we want to make sure to put that on our site so you guys can get more information and find out about it through the IAHSP portal. Just reach out to Tamara personally. And I've seen the materials. It's really, really well done. Excellent content. All right, Bridget.
Hey. How you doing?
Good.
Good.
So let people know where you're from and who you are.
So I am Bridget King. I am the principal owner of Captiva Design, Interior Decorating and Home Staging, based here in sunny South Florida. Been in the staging business now for 17 years. I'm also the current president of our IAHSP chapter here in South Florida. And excited to be a featured breakout session speaker at this year's convention.
Yes, and so share your topic.
I will be teaching on 7 profitable home staging revenue streams. And it's actually revenue streams that I myself currently provide to my client base. And over the years, it has grown and expanded. And so I just wanted to share some information with fellow stagers who may be looking to expand, think outside the box. Maybe you were always good at something, but you didn't know that you could actually monetize it and have fun while making money.
Which is important. We always want to have fun. And I haven't asked you this yet, but I actually put you into 2 time slots. I have you speaking to the intermediate and also to the advanced.
Oh,
I feel like the topic, I know what's going to happen. Hey, Jenny, I feel like what's going to happen. And Malik, I see you've joined as well. I know it's going to have people be like, I want to go to that session and I'm not in the room. And so anyway, so I do have 2 time slots for you if you're willing to do that. I think it'd be awesome. Awesome. Good.
Great.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So I'm bummed that Deborah, she's going to try to, I guess, come in on her phone. But let's kind of talk about a little bit about the SIDC. So those of you that are watching, Staging Industry Diversity Coalition. So we formed this January of last year, I believe, or February. And Deborah Plowden had been, she and I had talked in November of 2019 about, needing to have more diversity even on our IAHSP board. She had brought that to my attention. So I said, so are you volunteering? And so we created a diversity director position for her at that time, not knowing what would happen in 2020 with BLM and George Floyd and everything. And so when that happened, being able to form a group, the Staging Industry Diversity Coalition, which is not IAHSP centric, it's open to anybody, but to have people that are living that reality in some ways come together and be able to help educate the rest of us, or just keep us on top of how can we be more inclusive and understand the diversity and why it's important. And so you ladies have been meeting for a year, more than a year now, a year and a half. Mm-hmm. So how has that been going?
It's been going really good. The last meeting we had went exceptionally well, right, ladies?
Yes.
Bridget, I believe it was either the last meeting or the meeting before. She did a great presentation, took a lot of notes. And I just find that we're starting to find our path and starting to figure out a way, because it always, in the beginning, you're always just kind of trying to figure out, your proper place and have the dust settle and whatnot. But I think now at this point, we're finding our path, we're finding our voice.
Yeah. So Deborah, say something. Let me make sure we can hear you.
Hi, can you hear me now?
So I want to go back just quickly. Introduce yourself, let people know who you are, and I love your fabulous new hairdo.
Oh, thank you. So I'm Deborah Plowden. I am the owner of Debonair Home Staging and Redesign, and I am also the SIDC, which is the Staging Industry Diversity Coalition Director. So that's who I am in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So I was just saying, I kind of gave a little bit of background about that. You guys have been meeting for about a year and a half. And so we were just starting to talk about some of the things you guys have been discussing. And so just kind of give us an update of where we were and kind of where you guys are now. And just even in general with what's happening out in the world, and have we seen a change, a different perspective, and so forth?
So we have been meeting, like you said, for about a year and a half. We have currently about 9 members that come constantly to our meetings. We meet on Sundays, the second Sunday of the month at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it's a Zoom call. So we get on, we hop on, we have our meetings. So it's been a little slow going at times, just because we're all trying to get on the same page of music as to what we were meeting, the reason why we were meeting, and where we would like to go with what we were doing. So once we got on board with that, it took a little bit of time of discussing that, a few meetings, and then once we got on board with that, we solidified kind of which direction we wanted to go. So a little bit of update is that we have decided that we would have different divisions within the SIDC. So we have an African American Stages division. We have we'll be developing a Hispanic division, and also Indian American division. So we're going to establish all those divisions.
Okay, and are you going to do one for, because I know the 4 of the groups we had for Asian?
Yeah, the 4 that we talked about, Asian, okay. all the ones that we talked about, Asian. I'm sorry, I can't remember the rest of them.
It's okay.
At this time. But anyway, we are going to be forming those. And then once we get those formed, then we'll take individuals from those different segments, and then we'll have the top level of the SIDC.
Awesome.
That's where we're going. I feel like that we have been just working to have cohesion within ourselves as a group, which, is awesome and fantastic. What I've seen in the field, as far as me personally, I don't think that I've seen much of a change. Not that it was bad in the beginning, but I don't think I've seen much of a change. So I invited the ladies to come on today so they can talk about their experience of the group and maybe their experience outside the group as far as, you know, being an African-American stager. Are you seeing more realtors using you, or has it been the same? You know, whatever they like to share. So that's why we're here today. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Deborah. And thank you for being the leader that you are. I really appreciate it. And are you feeling okay from your bout with the vid?
Yes, I'm doing much better. I still have a little bit of cough from the pneumonia, but yeah, I'm doing better.
Good. I'm glad.
Be alive. Thank you.
Yes, I know. Thank goodness. I know you'd come out to Denver. I was hoping to see you, and you didn't plan on getting sick. So I'm glad that you're fine. Yeah, that's good. All right. Well, so who wants to show? So Tamara, I guess I'll just, since you're next up on the little screen here. So kind of give us a perspective of what you think about where the group was, where it is now, where it's headed, and then what you've experienced in your business as well, related to all of this.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'm coming from maybe a little bit of a different perspective. A little bit, maybe because I'm in Canada, I'm north. So the climate is a little bit different, like the racial climate is a little bit different. However, I had mentioned before in our meeting over time that I think for the most part, I don't really deal with too much ignorance and racism. Personally myself, not to say that obviously it's not there, but I do have, I think it's really built on like my relationships that I built with realtors that just want to work with us work with me because of me, not because of the color of my skin, because of the actual results that I bring, the professionalism that I bring. So they look beyond that. We're a big melting pot here. I work with realtors that are of every ethnicity. So for the most part, it's pretty good. Of course, there will always be that stigma behind it. Just being a Black person. Just maybe sometimes you think that somebody doesn't want to work with you because of your skin color, which is, I mean, it's sad, but it's realistic, because if we want to be honest, there's what do you call it, redlining. That was a thing in real estate.
What is that?
Redlining. How they kind of block out specific people of color from living in a particular area.
Oh, okay.
Right. So, with that being said, sometimes it could be in the back of your mind because we've already been oppressed, and that is something that's kind of generational that continues. Just being Black, and but for the most part, I'm doing okay.
That's excellent. And you said earlier that the climate in Canada is different than the U.S., I guess, as far as the perception. Is it more accepting, or how would you define it?
Well, it's pretty similar still. Like, don't get me wrong, because Canada does have its own badness, I'll say, without getting too much into it. But yeah, it's just really the climate is a little bit different because particular instances have occurred in the USA and not here, like George Floyd,
right.
Breonna Taylor. Those instances have occurred in the USA. So the fact that people are having conversations with their Black sons about how to react around police, that is prevalent here, but I feel like it's even more prevalent in the US because it's so known.
I can't even imagine, because I just kind of got goosebumps when you said that. And I know that happens, and parents, you definitely have had to educate your kids about how to respond. I never had to do that with my kids. It was more, we taught them to be respectful to authority. It doesn't matter where they are, what color the person is, which we respect the police, respect authority, but it was never from a place of, because if you don't, you're going to get harmed.
Killed.
So I think that's something that, people that are watching, it's a completely different scenario, different reality. And it's sad, it's sad to me that even has to take place. So I think having conversations to bring things out in the open and not keep things hidden, is really, really important. And I would like to think that a year later, as a country and just as people, that we're definitely more aware of the racism and the targeting that has happened, and to make a concerted effort to make it stop. It's going to take time, but I feel like at least that dialogue, it really brought it to the forefront. So I think that was really positive when that happened, and it's continued. There hasn't been, sort of like the media and so forth, that, there'll be like the big thing, and it'll be like really in the news everywhere, and then it sort of tapers off, and then there's something else that comes in and sort of replaces it.
Yeah.
We don't want it to be replaced, because then it's going to go back to where it was. It'll be like, okay, well, it's not a big deal anymore, so we'll just kind of go back the way we were. And so I'm really hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping that we've seen some awareness and progress, that we make a conscious decision that we won't go back to where we're just sort of unaware of what's happening, and not holding people accountable, or teaching, whether it's a police officer or any person. I support the police. I mean, I'm thankful for them. However, I'm not in favor of any, type of violence against somebody that doesn't deserve it, and certainly not targeting people because of their skin color. I mean, so, right, Bridget, what has your perspective been?
So, I was thinking about 17 years ago when I started, there were really no Black stagers in my area. I think I was probably one of the first IAHSP stagers of color in South Florida. And then, gradually a few came on board, some didn't stay. Our area is very diverse here in South Florida. We have a lot of people from Central, South America, and the Caribbean. And in the Caribbean, we come in all colors. There's white Jamaicans, Black Jamaicans, Chinese Jamaicans. It's very diverse, which is a good thing. And that's what I love about where I live and my culture and my background. And so let's be real, racism exists. It's everywhere. It will be around. It's not ever gonna all go away. But I think the platform now for having these discussions has really enlightened a lot of people. And I want to say thank you, Jenny, for allowing us to have this platform. That's huge. And having our group, because there are certain things that Black people, Black women go through that a white woman will not understand, or a white male will not understand. It's part of our culture. And now we have a place where we can come and discuss issues that we may face. Some areas of the country, and I've heard from other stagers, they feel like they get no love. Like luxury stagers, they're always white. You never see a high-end Black luxury stager. Why is that? It could be a multitude of reasons. One, you have to have heavy cash to do luxury high-end staging. You have to have the inventory. Maybe the money is not accessible. Maybe they've had some pushback from luxury agents who don't feel comfortable putting a $3-4 million luxury listing in the hands of a Black woman or a Black man or Hispanic woman.
I hope that's not true. Honestly,
I don't know.
I mean, you have like Tiffany King. I have
across the board.
And Nikki Watson. Yeah, I'm like Nikki Watson. I mean, I can think of people. I'm hoping that's not the case, because that would be. I totally get what you're saying, that the client might be like, oh, well, I feel like skin color should have nothing to do with your talent and your ability to stage a property. And you're right, some of the financial side of it is a big investment, but everybody's worth investing in. Somebody is getting someone to help them with that. So that okay. So anyway, continue. I wasn't aware of that, so that's. Yeah, I can do something about
I'm sure if you did a survey across the country, I'd be curious to know how many high-end Black luxury home staging companies there are. I'm in South Florida. I know all the movers and the shakers, and I don't know of a Black-owned high-end luxury home staging company that rents their own inventory. So I do luxury, but I do redesign. I don't do vacant. So it's a little different on that side. But I will say I'm happy to see more Black home stagers in the industry actively pursuing this as a business and not a side hustle. I will say I'm happy to see that more agents are working with Black home stagers. And I'm speaking about in my area. And I have brought in several Black home stagers into our group as well, and Hispanic as well. So my goal has always been to include more people of color. And so that's how it's always been for me, because like Tamra, when I started, I didn't have a mentor. I had to learn through trial and error. I had to make mistakes. So I decided whatever I do going forward, I'm gonna put a hand out and bring a few on board. And so I train, I mentor, and girls come on and they learn, and then they take the course, and then they build their own business. So I'm happy to say I am seeing small improvements in our area. And I think we're on the right path by having this group. And I thank you for allowing us to have this platform. And I'm going to have to jump off in about 5 minutes because I have to go to Boca for a consult that I couldn't move. But thank you for having me.
Well, yeah, and I appreciate what you shared. And I feel like our one area, like a little side challenge thing, would be to cultivate the luxury staging. Now, it could be what I'd want to hear from other Black stagers is, are they not participating in luxury because they don't want to do it? Because it is more expensive to have to house all that stuff, and those clients can be very difficult. That's a nice word to use, right? Challenging. They sometimes expect more. And I know my mindset, we do luxury as well, but you can crank out nice income and volume doing the modest properties and the regulars. So is that a conscious choice, or have they been, is there a block to access that echelon? And so I'm just asking that question. So those of you that are watching, if you want to give feedback, you can put comments here. You could write to us privately. You can reach out to Deborah, any of the ladies here. But I really would like to know, because I'm thinking about my own market, and you're right. Denver it's diverse, but it's not as diverse as some of the other areas I've lived in my life. But I don't know of many stagers of color that have big businesses here. And so, and yet I do know that people are asking to join, like the Home Staging Professionals group. People will ask to take courses. So I know that there's a lot of people of color that are reaching out. They want to be in the industry. And I want to say, as an association, that we are here to help with that. We've given some scholarships out to help people finance or pay for classes that they want to take in order to enter the industry. Because in my mind, I thought, if somebody really has a passion and is really serious about building a business, because I always say there's no value in free. So, and yet we're giving the course. So I just want to make sure these people take it and run. That's one thing I can do. I can't do a lot in some regard, but I can help with giving equal access to the industry, and not having income be a reason why somebody who really has a passion and a desire isn't able to participate. So, so thank you for.
We've done a couple of high-end luxury, not a couple. We've done a few high-end luxury properties, like $2 million, $4 million properties. We would love to do more, and how we plan on getting there is by marketing. Just leveling up our marketing, and leveling up just an upgrade in general of the look of our brand, so people are aware that we provide luxury home staging.
And on that note, too, even luxury realtors. So there's a gal that I'm connected with, Tyzo Brown. She's from Portland. She's a luxury listing agent, and she's mid-20s. She's built a big business. I met her through my son, Steven. They were dating for a brief time, and the distance was a little hard. But so she's carved out a big business in Portland, and now she's branching, I believe, into Southern California. So I'm staying connected with her because I'm really proud of what she's building. And yet I know that in some way she is sort of an anomaly as well, not only for her age, but because she is a person of color. So I'd like to get it to the point where it's not like, oh, look at that. Like, oh, there's one person who's doing this. It should just be because she's a hardworking woman,
Yeah.
business person, not because she's a Black person who's a hardworking. That shouldn't like, oh, and she's Black. I shouldn't even have to put that, oh, and she's Black on there. It should just be like, and that's where I know it's going to take time, but that's where I'm hoping that we're headed.
I agree with you, Jenny. I feel like it's going to take time because like we've been outnumbered in this industry. So now, I mean, that's what, most agents are used to seeing. So now that we are promoting, and I'd love to have more African Americans in this industry, because sometimes I tell people what I do, and a lot more African Americans are like, well, what is that? Like, they don't even understand what it means. So just, getting the knowledge out there of who we are, what we do, and more people coming into the industry, over time it will change, because they will understand that, hey, tomorrow's work is just like Bridget's work. I mean, they're both great. If they both hit it, they both hit the point and help you get your home sold. And that it wouldn't be a difference between, hey, Jenny's work looks better than, Sharon's work. No, it's the same. They both help you. They can both do luxury. They both can handle it. They're both professional, and how they handle the client, and, deliver great customer service, their client customer service. So that will change over time. I feel like and it's platforms like this that we're talking about right now, where we're getting this information out. We're talking about it. Sometimes these are the hard things to talk about, but once we get them out there and we talk about them, then, hey, there's nothing that can hold us back. That's the way I feel.
Absolutely. And, and as an industry, obviously the white race, we're well represented. We're the, dominant in the staging industry. The second is actually Black, I think, is the second highest as far as minorities. And then I did a survey on my own, kind of like opened up the home staging professionals group, and I looked at every single profile to see who was of color, who was a minority. And so then the next biggest, I think, was, I want to say, I mean, you have the Hispanic, probably they're the next, but they're a small number. And then East Indian is very small, and then Asian is also very small. I was hard pressed to find a lot of people that are Asian that are in the industry. Early on, I know Alice Chan, so she's from the Bay Area, so she's been staging for many, many years, but there's not that many. And so I think, just in general, there needs to be more people, diversity in the industry in general. And then you have, even you talk about like age. Age can be a factor of people discriminating against. And then you think about the men. It is women dominated. So you have men that are in the industry, and how are they perceived? I'm sure everybody assumes, oh, every man who's a stager must be gay. And that's not the case. There are some, and there's some that are not. And so there's a lot of perceptions that as an industry that we need to definitely work on. So
yeah, very true. Just to kind of piggyback on that, what Deborah said, with us being outnumbered, I think this is a really great beginning, because what we're doing is we're showing representation, and representation matters. Representation helped me. I saw another stager that was a Black stager, and to this day, she's like my mentor. I love her. She's invited me over for dinner. Her house is amazing. I love her work. And it was because of her. It's like, oh, there's somebody that looks like me that's doing this. And then, what happened? I was able to pass that baton on to a couple of other stagers that saw me, Black stagers, and they were like, oh, look what she's doing. She's successful. She's doing well. I want to do that too. And they were students of mine. And then I'm sure that baton will be handed down again, right? So it's just representation, showing that, putting ourselves out there. If you love this industry, if you love homes, if you love decorating, this is a great industry to get into. It doesn't matter your skin color, it doesn't matter your sex or age. It just matters your drive, your ambition. And yeah, great start. I'm happy here.
So I see, Deshauna, I saw that you came on, so I can bring you in. So Bridget has to leave really quickly, but I wanted to bring you in.
See you Sunday.
Are you leaving, Bridget?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Thank you for being on.
Okay, see you soon.
All right, so I'm adding Deshauna, so she'll just bring you right in. Hello.
Hi. So sorry. I think my thing is kind of blinking out a little bit. Can you all hear me?
We can hear you. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You look so pretty. Yeah, I love your hair. And so for people that don't know who you are, because we've been promoting you a lot, but just to go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll have the ladies that are on here just say a quick hello to you as well.
Sure. So I am Army Captain Deshauna Barber. I am former Miss USA and the current CEO of Servicewomen's Action Network.
And I saw that. That's such a great organization that you have formed. So talk a little bit about what that is.
Yes. So the organization was founded in 2009. And it's mostly consisted of a group of veteran women that saw that there was a lack of access to resources for women veterans, especially when it comes to those that have experienced assault, discrimination, bias, also women that are looking for help when it comes to like reproductive issues that they're having, or any type of physical health issue that they're having. A lot of the times when we call these different veteran service organizations, they're running into issues of seeing that a lot of these organizations are focused on men, which is understandable, being the fact that men represent about 85% of the armed forces, but 15% of the armed forces are women, and that's still millions of people that need help. So Servicewomen's Action Network was founded out of that reason. So we are a one-stop shop for women that are looking for services in almost any arena. We have gone through and made a really, really, really nice and detailed resource portal where we have verified organizations that are dedicated to serving women.
I think that's wonderful. So Deborah, I wanted you to, so your meeting here. So Deborah, go ahead, and ladies, just share who you are. So Deborah, go ahead, go first.
Okay, I'm Deborah Plowden. I'm the owner of Debonair Home Staging and Redesign. And I'm here based in Houston, Texas. And like yourself, I spent 15 years in the military, Army. So I am an Army veteran, and I do understand what you mean by women not being able to get the recognition that most men do, because it is a man-dominated career, which that's changing. And yes, I'm also the SIDC director, which is the Staging Industry Diversity Coalition. So I'm the director of that. We are building our coalition to improve and make things a little bit better and more representation, and just, working to bring that diversity side and equity to all people. So that's what I do.
And Deborah, yeah, and so you guys are going to meet obviously at the conference, and so Deborah's usually with their keynotes we have somebody who's sort of like their person who makes sure you get where you need to go all the time. And so Deborah asked to be your person, so I said okay, of course.
Thank you.
You guys, you actually have a really similar background, IT. There's, when she was reading up on your background, Deshauna, it was like there were so many parallels. So I'm excited for you guys to actually connect in person. And then we have Tamara Grant. So Tamara, share briefly with Deshauna where you're from.
Hi, Deshauna. My name's Tamara. I am in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and I'm the owner of Destin Dreams Home Staging. We've been in business since 2016, and we have a team of 4.
That's awesome. And then Sharon, you haven't said anything yet, so and this will be the first I know.
That's okay. Well, I'm Sharon Walker, and I'm the owner of Final Touch Home Staging. I recently relocated, so I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. What we have in common is my husband was also, he was military, Army. Feel like I was in the military as well, because wives definitely feel, that you are in the Army. He was an officer, so I participated in a lot of the officers' wives, different events, and it was really an experience I will never forget.
Amazing.
Still have a lot of friends. Deborah and I connect on that level. We still have a lot of friends that are military, and we talk today.
And so, and Deshauna, I read, and correct me if this is not, if you've already completed it, but you're getting your degree. So I saw from like in Colorado Springs, is there a college and you're getting a degree in diversity and cultural inclusivity or something?
It's diversity, social justice, and inclusion, and it's a certification. It's a certificate, like a graduate non-degree certificate, I believe is what it's titled. I don't know if I'll be going back for another degree. I think my master's was an experience in its own, so I feel like I'm going to be focusing a lot on certifications and maybe a PhD a little bit down the ways. So we'll see about that. But yes, that's what I'm attending right now. super excited. I think it's definitely relative to a lot of what I speak on and a lot of what I do with Swan. So I'm very excited about it.
So is it online?
Yes,
The
purely
course?
online because I'm based in DC. So yeah, it is purely online.
I love Washington D.C. too. It's such a great city.
It
All the
is.
history and
It is.
everything. Yeah. My sister lived in Alexandria for many years. She worked at the White House when Obama was in office. So she was a nuclear arms non-proliferation specialist. She's my twin sister. So she's like, went that direction. I'm like, I'm going to stage houses. But actually, I was environmental consulting and marketing and sales. But DC is a great city. So one of the reasons, I've watched a lot of your videos, and the one that went viral about at the graduation, and you're like, like the first time I went, I lost. Second time, I lost again. I'm like, the perseverance, that I just tell people that one word really defines you and your journey so far. And what else would you want to share with? Because I don't want you to give all your secrets away, because she's our motivational keynote speaker. She'll be on Sunday. So you have to stay till Sunday to see her. And I'm really excited to have you coming. And you add an element that we haven't had before, which is a female keynote, as far as, somebody from in the past, the person that ran the organization would share. But this is the first time we've had anybody outside come in that's actually a woman as a keynote, and also a woman of color. And I thought that was really important this year to have that. It didn't matter. It wouldn't have mattered what color you were. You're amazing, and your story and your journey is amazing, and we all need to hear it. So.
Yeah, Deshauna, that's awesome that you're, broadening past, you're keeping yourself busy with many different interests. I think that's really important, even as a home stager. For example, I may own a home staging company, but I also pursue other things. I have my LLQP license, which is my financial license, in order to assist people with their life insurance, getting term life insurance, and helping with their savings and building generational wealth. So I think that is even more important as a Black woman, to be able to pass down generational wealth and generational knowledge, because we don't have that. And really what happens is when a baby is born, they're basically starting from scratch. But with life insurance, term life insurance, when we are to pass, we're able to pass on a death benefit. Also continuing on with financial licensing, getting my mutual funds license, and learning more about finances. As a business owner, I think that's really important that you are strong in managing finances and you're knowledgeable.
Absolutely. What's so interesting about what you're saying is that, and it's similar to what Jenny was saying, is that a lot of the times we walk into situations and we have this like box that's sort of placed over us, and we're in a position where we feel as though we can only do one thing. And that's usually what a lot of my speeches are about. And a lot of people are wondering, when I go into all these places, we think that Deshauna is going to be placed into one box in terms of the audience that she speaks to. So I love when I receive inquiries from my agency like this one, where it's like, I know nothing about home staging, okay? I'm not into design and things along those lines, but I've had the opportunity to speak to so many different organizations, and we all have this one thing that we need, which is inspiration, motivation. We all go through very similar experiences as humans, and just having the opportunity to be able to push each other. And sometimes it takes a story, like Jenny was saying, like my story about pageantry. Most people, millions of people that watch it have never looked at a pageant, never walked on a stage before when it comes to pageantry, but they're inspired by the perseverance and tenacity that it took me to reach my goal. Right. So when I go and I speak to these different organizations about my story, it's less about connecting on the actual profession, and it's more about connecting on the fear of failure and on the wanting something and trying to figure out how you're going to get there. A lot of those things as humans, we can relate to those conversations, and we can relate to feeling as though we can only do one thing, when really we have a life of our own and decisions and choices of our own, where we can go through and decide to do 1,000 things. So when I told myself I wanted to be a pageant beauty queen, Miss USA, and I wanted to serve my country. And there's a lot of people that didn't necessarily understand how those two correlate, but it's not really for them to understand. So I think that's why it kind of connects to what you're saying, Tamara, when it comes to home staging and life insurance. Very two different things. However, those are that you're passionate about. And I think that's what makes the whole thing very inspiring. And that's why I'm very excited to be able to speak to the audience and all of your colleagues about the things that I've been through and being able to inspire them to be able to chase anything that they want to do. We have that right. That's what our life is for, is to be able to be individuals and choose the path that we want to take. And I'm just super excited to be able to have that conversation.
And we're really excited to have you come too. And then people that are watching, you can Google some of her different speeches that she's given. And I mean, I first of all, I was never in the pageant world. I did perform, dance, and competitions and so forth. And there's, people that have lived that. It's hard work, first of all, because just from what I do know about the pageant world, it's hard work. It's not easy. But you're also putting yourself out there and being judged on on a level that a lot of people consider superficial. And the critics and so forth, and she's got a cellulite or all that kind of stuff. It's like you just put yourself out there. So most of us wouldn't do that. But then to go over, to do it over and over and over again, because you obviously you have a winning attitude as far as a drive. Like I'm gonna do this until I'm successful at it. And where so many people would be like, well, I tried it. I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna go on to something else. And because you did that, now you have a platform that you would not have had otherwise. And I think that's what the pageantry, whether people like it or they don't like it, with oh, it's sexist or whatever. The fact is that the people that are successful at it, then it does give them a platform. I mean, look at Vanessa Williams. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, she was the first Black Miss America. Was then forced to resign her crown. Didn't let that stop her. And I was a lot of us were like, that's so stupid. And but she turned it into an acting career and so forth, and singing. She's so talented, and so it gave her a voice that she wouldn't have otherwise had. So I really think that's fabulous, and I there's so many parallels with we're building businesses. We want to be successful, whether it's staging or finance or the veterans thing that you're doing. We all want to be successful. We want to help other people. So. Mm-hmm. So what can people expect when they come to conference? What are they gonna expect from Deshauna?
Well, expect fun. So what I like to do is, and I think that's probably what made the speech even funnier, the one that went viral, is I try to make my speeches a combination of inspirational and funny. So I like to do like a stand-up comedy type, where we're also able to laugh at the downfalls of life, right? I feel like sometimes it's not really in my personality when it comes to speaking to make everything so intense. It's not really my speaking style. My speaking style is to be able to find joy, laughter, and just happiness in the conversation and in the discussion. So we have a few jokes in there. I love to be able to laugh at some of the things that I've been through and the doubts that I had in my mind. Sometimes we have to look back and giggle at ourselves. I know the days where I was like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't believe that judge didn't like my hair, or this judge didn't like my dress, or this judge didn't like my shoes, and all these things that you look back and really giggle, at the minuscule things that we focus on during our journeys. So there'll be a good amount of laughter going on, but I think the main thing is being able to walk away with what I call the mental juice. I think that COVID and the pandemic and the world shutting down last year, we all need that. Everyone's business was impacted, everyone's life was impacted, and we need levels of encouragement to be able to push us through the hard times, especially as business owners. And I know with you all working, home staging and things along those lines, the housing market was not the greatest last year, so you're dealing with those types of things as well. You're trying to keep people above the water in terms of feeling inspired and feeling driven. So I hope to be able to have that discussion and that conversation during the speech, to be able to just encourage people and to make them laugh at the same time.
Which is so important. I love that we said joy and happiness, and because you're right, building a business can be super intense, and I'm not really a person that responds to like a motivational speaker screaming at me, that just I just tune that out. But I think the joy and the happiness and the laughter. So we all need that, and so I'm so excited that you're going to be bringing that to our conference. Thank you for agreeing to be part of it, and whatever you're going to share, I know is going to be fabulous. And so I don't want to give any more secrets away, but those of you that are watching, you can see she's articulate, she's smart, she has so much knowledge just in her. I know you're not that old either, and so in your young life, you have experienced a lot, and that's why I put the 4 things on your promotion. You know, the beauty queen, the army captain, which you're currently serving, your active military, and then the survivor, which I know there's a whole story behind that, and then the businesswoman. So maybe we'll get to see a glimpse of all those parts of you. I don't know, but I'm excited. And you guys want to say any last words to Deshauna? Because we're just about out of time.
Deshauna, amazing. You're inspiring in this short amount of time that we've been on this call.
Right.
Rooting for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I just want to say that I don't know if you know it, but we're one of the few organizations that have our own diversity group, and so we're very thankful to Jenny for allowing us to have this, because it's really, I'm new to staging. I might as well say new because I'm just starting to do it full time. And this group, they're really helping me to build very solid business foundation. They're mentoring me, you know, they're helping me with just the fundamentals, as Tamara said earlier. So we're very, very thankful and appreciative that, you know, everybody in our organization is just so welcoming, you know, and they really have supported us. So it's been a great venture, and I'm looking forward to just staying with IAHSP and enjoying the ride, because it's been a great start so far.
I appreciate you saying that. And I want to give kudos to Deborah, because it all sort of started with our conversation in Dallas in November 2019. And it's really grown from there. And I said this in the beginning that I'm not part of the meetings that the ladies have, and because I haven't lived a life of a person of color and experienced all that. So I wanted them to have a group. I'll facilitate. I'll do whatever I can to support it. And Deborah is the leader of it, and I am grateful for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Once again, I just want to echo what everyone else has said. You know, I did approach you, Jenny. You were very open to the idea and probably hadn't even thought about it from a different perspective. So you were open to it. There's never been a no. So I commend you for that, and really, really thank you for that, because we could have had pushback, but you know, you didn't give us that. So thank you for this platform, and thank you for the opportunity that we have to meet and to converse with one another and build one another, whether we're Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever. That's my goal, is to build. And I tell the ladies all the time, my goal is to help people, help anyone that I can. So, and that really is from my heart. But definitely, I don't say this to be racist or whatever, but definitely women of color. Those are the ones that I really, really, really want to help. So that's my heart. So thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, and it doesn't. People shouldn't take offense to that at all, because that's your life. That's who you are. And I can't. You can relate to people that are like you differently than I can. I love all of you and I support you, but I haven't walked in your shoes. And Deborah, you know, you've shared a lot of stories with me, and I've cried, and so I just think that it's wonderful what's happening. I'm glad I'm here to support that, and I'm excited that Deshauna, you're coming to our conference, and so people, get your tickets.
Yeah.
We know how many people are going to be there, and I'm doing what I can behind the scenes to provide an excellent event with top caliber speakers, and Deshauna being one of our great ones. So our inspirational keynote, she'll be there on Sunday morning. She'll be speaking, so she's going to take us to church. Right?
Yeah.
Amen. Thank you for lifting us up. I really appreciate it as well.
Well, so thank you all for being on. Thank you all for tuning in. This is recorded, so it's live right now, and then we'll be sharing it to a lot of different platforms, so a lot more people will see it, and I appreciate it. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Bye everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.